I don't want to upset you guys' neighbors, man. We gotta do a video still.
Hey guys, Recent Tech Customs here. Welcome back to another episode of Autopsy. And today we have a super special episode, one featuring this amazing Datsun behind me. I am super psyched on this. I saw this car for the first time at a car show a few weeks ago, and I just knew instantly this had to be some legendary car, and I had to shoot a video on it. So I asked the guy, we got him down here. He's gonna tell us more about it. This is a Hot Wheels Legends winner from 2019, which means this car is so cool, it got made by Hot Wheels into its original little die-cast model. So I'm so excited to learn more about this incredible build. Let's get right into it and meet the owner. All right, guys, here we go. We got the owner behind me, and he's gonna tell us a little bit more about this car. So, Bill, what can you tell us? Start with, I guess, the origin story of this car, because it's such a neat story between you and your kid of like how this kind of came about.
Well, at an early age, I got my son working in the shop, getting him doing stuff on cars, and then it got to a point where I thought, you know, he's probably old enough. We should do a project together. So we got on to looking on, you know, Craigslist, that kind of stuff to find different cars, but nothing really sort of piqued our interest. Everything's so expensive. So I knew of this car from when I was growing up in high school. My friend had it, and I always wanted it, right? But it was just dying in his parents' place. I was like, come on, you know, you got to give it to me. So eventually one day he's like, you know what, Mom wants out of here. If you want it, it was the perfect timing. I was like, yeah, I'm down there. I'm gonna go get it. So I went down there, went to grab it, but the thing was, there was a tree growing right through it. So I had to actually, my brother and I actually cut that down in order to get the car out of there. My brother was pretty like, oh my God, you know, this is huge work. I don't know if you can even take this on. But we did, and brought it back to my son, and my son was like pretty excited about it. He was like, wow, that's a cool car, Dad. So, but he saw all the rust and he was kind of freaked out thinking, well, it's gonna be a lot of work. I don't know, like, are we gonna be able to finish this? So we just carried on, doing different things, getting it cleaned up and get most of the rust removed, but still there was a problem with those huge holes in the fenders. We didn't know what to do, so we thought, well, we'll do fender flares, but you don't want to do something different, right? Or something the same as everyone else, we want to do something different. So we decided to look at some of the options, and the only ones that are out there was Rocket Bunny, but they didn't actually make them for Datsun yet. So we saw it on the RX-7 and thought, you know what? Let's make something that looks similar to that, because it looks pretty cool. And he did a little sketch up, and it looked kind of cool. So we just went forward and started getting the thing together and cover up the rust holes on the fenders.
I gotta ask, what is, I guess, your relationship with your son like? Is like, what got him and you both into cars like this?
Well, I was been into cars at an early age, right? And then when he was old enough to pretty much stand, I had him sort of, you know, he's playing with Hot Wheels and in the shop watching me. So it just made sense to try and see, you know, what kind of stuff you could do, from sanding to filling to cleaning up stuff, oil changes. And the bug was there. He just wanted to keep doing stuff on cars.
And how young was your son when he got started?
3, I'd say. 3 was when he started actually doing stuff, cleaning stuff up for me and whatever, and it just progressed from there.
And where did your love of cars really start from?
My love of cars. Well, I originally was a model engineer, like the family business is making scale models. So I guess it came from there, I guess. And I don't know, my brother was really into them, so I kind of got into it that way. He used to do street racing and drag racing, so that also got me kind of into it quite a bit, like muscle cars. I was a model maker before, so that actually had a really big impact on what I learned to build cars, like from everything from you know, body work and molding and all sorts of that kind of stuff. I learned that from my father, so that was huge. And we used to work with the IndyCar teams, building scale models for them every year for presentation models. So it was quite a lot of.
Awesome. And then one last thing, I know you're a self-business owner. What, just shameless plug, like what is, like you run a really cool spot. What is it that you do?
I do mainly just restoration of older Japanese and muscle cars, mainly custom work, not into sort of cleaning up minivans and stuff like that. It's all older classic cars.
All right, there's some cool backstory on this guy and his crazy cool car. Now let's get into the nitty gritty and do a full walk around and see what he's got done to this beast. All right, Bill, let's just start up at the front here. There's so many things to go over on this car. I don't even know where to start. There's so many details. So I'm just gonna throw it over to you. And if you can kind of just do your best to like try and explain the coolest parts of this car, because there's so much to look at. I love all of the nitty gritty little details, from the katana hood stand to the decals to the bullet point wheels. Everything is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I guess the best thing is just start from the front, right? The oil cooler, I added on to there just as it's sort of an homage for the old Japanese racing. It actually is functional, so it's actually a good thing because the engine is a full-on race motor. It's a 3.1 stroker with probably one of the only ones in the world to do the downdraft carburetors as opposed to side drafts. Then we've got the splitter, custom aluminum splitter, which I've done a custom ground on there and then a powder coated with a candy red by Fly Powder Coatings. And then I've also got carbon air dam, carbon spoiler, carbon bumper, carbon hood. And then it gets down to the fender flares. Those are our own design, based on the same sort of look as the Rocket Bunny style, but they're our own design, and we actually do manufacture them and sell them to all over the world. We've sold probably about over 60 or 70 sets all over the world. And then we've got the Atara Racing wheels, which has got stretched, they're 15-inch by 10.5 with a -32 offset. We got the Nitto tires, stretched NT01s on there, and then on the back we got NT55Rs. Thanks, buddy.
You like it? It looks like this car is so popular that it's once again attracted a bunch of outside attention.
What is it, V8 for sure, right?
No, inline 6, but it's bored and stroked and cammed. It's full race motor.
Work on it yourself?
Yeah, and my son and I built it.
Oh, damn, bro. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Definitely. So the very first time. You took all the weight out of it, eh?
All right, guys, we had a little bit of a detour because this car attracts a bit too much attention for its own good, but we're just gonna jump back into it and finish our walk around of this beast. So Bill, what can you tell us about, I guess, the livery job that you've done on this? Because like, I think it's just so quintessentially Hot Wheels and over the top and just kind of crazy cool and just like not conventional in any way. Like, how did you come up with this design?
Well, I mean, I've seen a few different designs people have done on other cars with camouflage, and I thought that'd be kind of cool to have a camouflage type thing to it. And then I saw the Lamborghinis, I believe that when they do the test drives, they put on this sort of urban camouflage, which just doesn't show the shape too much of what is when they're people taking photographs and stuff. So that'd be kind of cool if we did like a breakaway of it, because originally when the car was first done, it was just orange. And then I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of nice to sort of break into something new, you know, for like something fresh. So that was where we came up with this. And I had a good friend of mine from Art Forces. He helped me a little bit with with laying it out properly, so I would know exactly where to mask the lines and that kind of stuff. So he did a nice rendering for me.
Beautiful. And what role did Dylan play in coming out with how this thing looked?
Honestly, he was the one that came up with these fender flares. He sketched it out, even at his age, at 10 years old, sketched out what he think it should look like, and I saw it. As soon as he did what sketched here, it was kind of a rough, you know, young kid's drawing, but I could see where he's going with it. And that really helped sort of do something differently, right?
Break time, be right back!
You want to build your next vehicle, whether it be a 4x4 overland rig, a performance street car, or a lifted truck. We'll walk you through every step of the build to ensure your dreams become your reality. To get started, send us an inquiry at techcustoms.com. Let's run out to the back for a second, because I know you got a crazy exhaust system on this.
Sure, yeah. That was, we originally did one, I wanted it to look like two tulips. That was my vision, and I went to a good friend of mine, MDA Fabrication, and he did it in stainless steel. He did what kind of pretty much close to what I wanted, with pie cuts and half tubes cut and stuff to give that sort of tulip look. But then after we got a sponsorship after Hot Wheels, we went with titanium. So now we have complete titanium going from the engine back now, which is a completely different sound, a lot cooler, a lot lighter. We did a custom diffuser on the back there. Actually, it's from a Jaguar SUV. So just something a little bit different to tie in the carbon from the front to the back. And then the rear spoiler itself is different from the regular BRE spoiler. We've extended it probably about 2 or 3 inches higher, and just to match a little more of the aggressive look like the fender flares are. And then lately we've just done a new mod, which is we've indented them with these plexiglass polycarbonate little wicker bills in there with titanium, tie-burnt titanium hardware inside there. They're all done custom by us, my son and I.
Cool, that is one of the craziest engine bays I've ever seen, but there's 2 things that I never thought I would ever see in an engine bay that I really got to ask about. What is going on with the katana and the sake bottle?
Well, the katana, I thought we needed a prop rod, right? So I thought, you know what, we got to keep it sort of Japanese for sure, right? So we found these katanas that look pretty decent, and they look kind of cool, right? It keeps the same homage of everything. Then as far as the sake bottle, we wanted to find one of the expensive sakes we could find and use that as an overflow bottle, right? Just give it sort of still that Japanese thing and sort of a cool look, right? So I guess starting with cooling, we're running a Champion radiator with 4-core. It's aluminum. We had it powder coated in the candy red as well to match we did the valve cover and the horns for the Weber DCOE 45s. We also wanted to do something a little more different than everyone else has done. Everyone always does the side draft carburetors, so we've done down draft carburetors, which therefore sticks out of the hood. It's not always the most best thing for rain and that kind of stuff and whatever, but it looks cool, so we didn't really care too much. It's the same as the exhaust. It's insanely loud. It looks ridiculous, but it's what we wanted to do, right? So there's no point in sort of giving limitations on that sort of thing, right? If it's something you want to see that's different and cool, do it, right? It's an expression of whatsoever. So we've also got, we did a custom engraved plate on the valve cover here with saisei, DB240Z. Saisei is Japanese, and translated is reborn, because the car pretty much was dead, right? Until, you know, we got a hold of it and kind of brought it back to life or whatsoever. We're running the headers on the side here. We've also got all our air system here for our front. We ran static for quite a while, but we found we were hitting a lot of speed bumps, and it wasn't fun to try and scrape over them and stuff. Still have a little bit issues now, but it's so much easier now. We had these guys, Bag Barn, sort us out here by putting just air at the front for us, so we can at least pop it up and give us a little more clearance, and then it shows we can just slam it right down and lay frame, right? So that's all tucked away where the battery used to usually be, and then we've actually relocated the battery to the back now, so weight distribution is pretty decent on that way, right? The only other one thing is I had a friend of mine, Mike Slickhone, he did me our master cylinder or whatever. He had done all the pinstriping all on it, just to make it something a little different tie-in. It's got orange and red in there, so the colors are all sort of matching. We got a roll bar inside. It's an auto power roll bar, also candy coated as well. We've done the insides of the doors as well. On the door panel itself, which is, they have been ground down to the bare metal, and then we'd sandblot masked off a Hot Wheels logo and sandblasted through, and then put a candy coating over top of it. We've got a full carbon for the console and the steering column cover, and also on the armrests, which is a honeycomb carbon, which is something a little different than mostly everybody else does. They do the regular carbon. The honeycomb is, at the time, was quite rare. It's starting to come a little bit more popular now. And that was done by our friends at Kingdom Carbon. And then we've got their Driftworks Nardi steering wheel. It's a collab. They sent us this, which we're so grateful of. It's so awesome. And then we actually added Hot Wheels logo on there, and also some tie-burnt hardware on their titanium. So then we've also got a drift brake here, which is done by Driftworks as well. The handle, and then the actual valve is here. We've got our air controls here for up and down, and then we've got also a controller here for underbody neon, and this is for our fuel pump, and this one here is also for our strobe lights. Here we've got signed by Larry Wood, which is the Hot Wheels, one of the Hot Wheels designers, very famous guy. And this here is Mad Mike, one of Dylan and I's kind of idols in the drift world. So it was very cool. He got in our car and signed that for us, stick it to the wall. We got the Bride Lomax seats with the Takata belts. And then of course, yeah, the auto power roll bar in the back with our fire extinguisher. I don't think it will ever be done. My son always wants to add little bits and pieces to it. But as far as I'm concerned, we won't be doing any major changes, just due to the fact that Hot Wheels we won that. We want to keep it sort of in the history of that way, right? So we do have 3 other ones of our own that we're actually going to be probably doing of Datsuns. So we could do something different on those ones. But as far as this one, it'll stay the way it is pretty much from the visual eye. As far as what I've been doing lately, just keeping busy with a lot of other people's projects. The next one I'm doing for a customer is a Viper-powered Datsun 240Z. So it's fully caged race car, and we're doing probably I think the second one in the world with Viper-powered, and we have a brand new custom wide body being put on it and everything. So we're pretty excited to be getting that one done. Second of all, we have a 1970 Mustang convertible, which we're doing. Same will be low, wide-bodied, and everything like that. So stay tuned and see if you can, keep updated on our Instagram too, saisei_DB240Z, and see what kind of stuff we got new coming up. As far as we got a website, www.dbworks.com. You can check out our newest products that we have out there, our fiberglass fender flares, and we're gonna be coming up with the new spoiler and the new splitter and canards out soon. So you can check out that, and we also have hardware there also available as well.
Cool. Well, thanks, Bill, so much for stopping by and showing us probably one of the coolest cars I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a great excuse to kind of work, kind of not work for a day. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are interested in seeing any more episodes, check out the next episode in the playlist. And if you have a crazy cool car that's cooler than Bill's, you gotta let us know down in the comments below. Reach out, send us an email, and we will get in touch. For maybe we could feature you in the next episode of Autopsy. Have a good one.